another episode.
On a Monday.
Filming on a Monday.
Monday, fun day.
Monday,
Psych.
Day. It's a weird kind of day because
Get
it's
me
hot as shit out.
Get me to the end of the week. It's a short week for me.
Regular week for me.
Regular week for you. That sucks.
I mean, I'm Sunday through Thursday, so I mean, I'll be off on the Friday, Saturday for the. I don't know. Probably not celebrating 4th of July, but I guess if you want to call barbecuing in the hood and celebrating, and celebrate. I'm not gonna go see no damn fireworks. I can say that.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much look out your back window nowadays and catch the fireworks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Avoid the crowd.
Yeah, I'm not going out, especially with everything going on now. If you do go out, be safe. I could see somebody, and hopefully I don't give any ideas, but I could see somebody going out while the firecrackers are going off and shooting into a crowd. Speaking of that, that's something we can segue into now. I don't know if you heard about it, but in Louisville, Kentucky, there was a gentleman that went live, and he caught this active shooter shooting in a crowd of people at a park. They were camped out and everything at the park. Louisville, Kentucky, and the guy just starts firing, no rhyme or reason. It happened to be a white guy, but I do want to say that the crowd was mixed. It wasn't like it didn't look like a predominantly black crowd or what have you.
Crazy fucker.
I do know somebody did get shot, and I believe they were killed. I believe it was one person. I'm not 100% sure. They did get the shooter. The guy kept rolling the whole time. They actually interviewed him as a witness because he caught the guy on camera, literally. So, and he said he tried to keep rolling, but of course, when the guy started shooting, he took off. What's funny is there was a guy across from the shooter that ducked and then stood up like nothing was happening. So I didn't get that part of it. I don't know if the guy got shot and went into shock or didn't fall over yet. I don't know. But
did you see that couple in I don't remember where it was, but they were marching to the mayor's office or whatever, and the woman comes out with a pistol and the dude comes out with a
the camera's sideways to try to get everybody. I don't know. I guess it won't rotate. Hold on, sorry. Let's get this going here. But what's going on, brother Gary?
Yeah.
Long time no see. Hold on. All right. That ain't going to right. Hold on.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. See, that's why I always put it sideways. I don't know why it's acting up. Okay.
Yeah. So the guy and his wife came out, guns pointing at the protester, finger. But they weren't even protesting in front of this guy's house. They were literally just walking by on the way to the governor's house, and they ran out the house with guns loaded, pointing at him, finger on the trigger. I just don't understand. And then they all started walking away and stuff. Look, man. I think if somebody comes out with a gun and they don't start shooting, they're not going to.
Yeah, I would think unless they're pushed to desperation.
Right. And look, it looked like they were fairly wealthy. They're not going to jail for shooting people that are on a public sidewalk, walking by, not driving by. Well, come on, they're not. I would not have left. I would have just called the police. Both of them charged with menacing because you can't point a gun at somebody.
No, you do. From my understanding, you'll do years for that.
Menacing.
Yeah.
So.
I do want to say that we're in a time now where gun ownership is increasing. That also means that the craziness is going to increase as well. Not everybody who owns a gun is a responsible gun owner, unfortunately.
So I'm going to cut you off. Which is the exact reason why Democrats want to pass stronger gun protection laws to make sure that these people that have mental health aren't able to get them.
Right.
And it somehow gets twisted into they're going to take your guns. Yeah, I want your guns taken too if you're fucking crazy. Yeah. Of course.
The problem is all of it, I don't think, can be blamed on mental health. I think part of it is that somebody's always wanted to shoot a gun no matter what.
There's a lot of cops in the world that were bullied and beat up when they were little kids, and then they go into the military and then they get into the police department, and those are the these dickhead cops that go out and do stupid shit because they were bullied. Now they feel like they have some position of power. They have gun, all this stuff. They have anywhere they go, all they have to do is call a code and backup comes, and they can't be bullied. Can't bully me anymore. Like that. That's what I think makes bad cops. I might be wrong, but I know a lot of people that were just bitches in high school and middle school, and now they're police officers, and they have this aura of arrogance about them. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I would say that's part of the problem. I guess the motivation behind becoming a cop is really the issue. You know what I mean? If you're not motivated for the right reasons to become a police officer, then yeah, I think you can easily
I applied to be a police officer. Did I tell you? Yeah, I did. I went through the whole Newcastle County process and the state police process.
Got you.
I put on the waiting list for the state police.
Yeah.
And in the midst of my being on the waiting list, I got the job at the juvenile detention center. So I was like, fuck it, and just kept that job.
Got you. Since we're talking about law enforcement, I applied to be a prison guard. And the only thing that stopped me is I have so many siblings. Mm-hmm. And if you ever, first of all, it's a very strenuous process.
Yeah, I went through the process. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
So you have to give the address and different statements and backgrounds of all your siblings.
Right. So they want to know if you have any that were
I have
in.
10 siblings.
Right, but they want to know if there's any that are in or have been.
Yeah, and I've had some that's been in trouble. You know what I mean? It got so frustrating to me that I said, forget about it.
Did you do the computer test?
I did.
Do you remember on the test that they would give you a photograph?
Yes.
And then they would say, what was the person in the green jacket standing by the fence doing?
Yeah.
Like you study the picture. So if any of you guys don't know it, never done this. When you take the DOC test, they give you a picture. You're allowed to stare at 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then it goes to like a series of questions about everything that's in the picture, and it tests like your visual memory and all that stuff. They do something similar on the state police test.
And it's funny, my son's mother is actually a
CO.
A CO, corrections officer. The motivation for it at the time was I needed a job quick.
You need a job. Uh-huh. It's one of those jobs where you can almost work unlimited overtime.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You can make.
You get forced to do overtime in that job too. They freeze
B Wise, he's one. Yeah, B Wise. Me and him worked at the detention center. Yeah, got froze many a night.
Yeah. So
we had our union president, the one before me. This dude made the newspaper for making the most amount of money with overtime out of every state employee.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Mm-hmm. Bro.
So they made it easier to come after him if he didn't pay his taxes.
I mean, I learned a lot from those dudes. I learned like if you worked a pay period where you had a lot of overtime, claim exempt, and then they don't take your overtime, and then you just put your taxes back on the next one.
Gotcha.
I know it was a lot of them that ended up owing, but I wouldn't care about owing taxes. You can make a payment plan for your taxes to where you pay $1 a month in repayment. Like, okay, you take $1.
What you owe too, though.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't make enough to ever owe that much, so it didn't even really go matter. But yeah, little cuz.
So, something that we were talking about, it's getting closer to election time, and we don't really dabble in politics too much on the show, just for the sake of stirring up emotions and everything, because people.
I think we've had to recently, just because you almost have to, just because of the climate that's going on, and and you'll get a fuck Trump out of me every now and again on the podcast, and nobody that watches us two are really going to care and have like that big of political differences than we probably have. So it doesn't really matter, but it's just a preference that we stay away from religion and politics a little bit. But
but one thing that's somewhat political, Public Enemy, which if anybody knows me, I think the greatest rap album and one of the greatest albums of all time is "It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back," which was Public Enemy's sophomore album, and I hold Chuck D in a high regard as far as being an MC.
I
So,
do too.
yeah.
Matter of fact, as being an intelligent
Yeah, a very intelligent MC. Just
Big Mac.
have a lot of respect for Public Enemy in general. Even Flavor Flav for what he does. You know, he might be the greatest hype man of all time.
I don't think you can say there's ever
Anybody
been.
better?
I don't think you can. Most times you don't even know the hype man. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
So I think he's got that title. I don't think anybody can argue that Flavor Flav is the GOAT when it comes to hype man.
I agree. But they actually hooked up with a producer. I would say is probably the greatest producer in hip hop, which is DJ Premier, and they made a song called "State of the Union," which is a anti-Trump song. If you haven't heard this song, I definitely think that it's worth you listening to. Number one, for the production. Number two, the content. And number three, the chorus is funny as all get out to me. I'm sorry.
So when you sent it to me, when I watched it on YouTube, but I watched the version where the lyrics come up.
Oh, okay.
So,
Got you.
So I would recommend watching it with the lyrics come up
Lyrics,
because sometimes it gets lost. You know, some people are beat driven, some people are chorus driven, and that's all they hear in the song. You know what I'm saying? So I like seeing the words. I'm actually one of them people. Forgive me if you ever watch a movie or TV with me, but I keep the captions on.
You know what? I do that too. Emily, hey, my niece just popped up. I hope I ain't embarrassing you, Emily, but she just graduated. Wanted to congratulate her. She's 2020 graduate. Very proud of you. Love you. But anyway, yeah, I think you should watch it with the lyrics just so you don't miss what Chuck is saying. There's a lot of good things said, some insults thrown in there, which are kind of creative, especially my favorite line is fear to comb over.
Like, yeah, but he used like everything. He used the 45.
Yeah.
He was able to throw in something about
Compared
the
to
orange,
Gestapo.
the Gestapo, and Hitler references. Yeah, it
Uh,
was an intelligent
said
diss
something-
track, basically.
said something about Middle America don't care, but the humans of color, something. I forget exactly what it is, but it's very prevalent to everything going on now. Some of the images in the video are the images of some police mishaps that just happened with the.
So you would have to actually watch the video though, because they don't show
Yes.
the video on
Yeah.
the lyric.
So watch the
lyrics.
lyric video and watch the video, okay, just to get the visuals. But during the chorus, they show the gentleman that recently ran away from the police that they claim turned around
Right.
with the taser and shot at him, and they shot him in the back.
Right. Who just
George Floyd, murderer. You know, I'm not even going to call him the officer. He is in the video. They cover his eyes, of course. Trump is in the video. They don't show his eyes. I think they show from his cheeks down. You know, pause. You know, so it's visually stimulating too. It's very prevalent to what's going on. The production is absolutely ridiculous. The lyrics are great. The only thing I can complain about with the song is the chorus, because the chorus is it doesn't rhyme. I think it's very emotional. You know what I mean? And they just decided to do the chorus off emotion. But, you know, once again, it's definitely a song worth checking out. If you're a DJ Premier fan, he, of course, doesn't disappoint.
I think it's significant that probably the song that Jay-Z was up, one of the songs that probably has the most relevance right now in the period we're in with the marching and all that is Fight the Power.
Yeah.
Like you could literally play Fight the Power at every single one of these protests and it would fit perfectly.
Yeah.
The video would fit perfectly because they're walking. They're literally, it's like a protest walking down the street of New York. Like that song is, what was 1991?
No, I
89?
think that was like, yeah, because that was one of Spike's earlier movies.
89.
It was for the Do the Right Thing
You're right.
soundtrack.
So maybe 89, and
Yeah, it
here,
was, I guess I'd say.
literally almost 21 years later, like that song could literally be played at every single one of these protests and rallies.
Yeah. But very good song.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that song was sent to me early in the morning or either real late at night, and I clicked on it. My nephew sent it to me, and afterwards I texted him back and said nice, and he sent me a message right back. So he must have saw it around the same time that I watched it.
Yeah, so a lot going on. This is 4th of July weekend. Like Mark said earlier, make sure that you're being safe. I know we're doing a hood barbecue here. My neighbor's been bringing food over steadily. Like I got him and his mom got a couple racks of ribs in there, a little bunch of chicken, some burgers. My job is to get the crabs and of course cook. But yeah, it should be fun. Little hood gathering. Obviously I love to cook, so I'll have fun. That'll be my day to hang out and show off a little bit cooking.
Yeah, he actually cooked me some brisket tacos before the show started. Magnificent. I've never had a bad dish from this guy. Matter of fact, there was...
Which is funny. So, yeah. Let me tell this, though. So, Mark said, what did you ask for when I first gave it to you?
For the... he made some tacos before where he put coleslaw in it, and it really... It really made it more... Yeah, made it more flavorful. So I said, where's the coleslaw at?
So I told him it would be a disservice to that taco to put anything else on it.
Yeah, it was real. It was real juicy. I mean, I had to go get napkins, man, because it was just spilling out. I mean, it was just, I think he said he wrapped it in bacon.
Yeah, so I wrapped it in. So what I did was I smoked it probably for like 4 hours, and after about 3.5, I threw some bacon on over top of it just to coat it. Because what happens is once you get a crust and it's cooking slow like that, it can overcook the outside. So you put something on top of it just to kind of coat it. So the bacon does two things. Number one, it coats it and protects it from the smoke.
Okay.
And number two, as the bacon cooks, the bacon juices drip into the meat, which is why it comes out so juicy. So then after about 5.5 hours, double wrapped it in foil and just finished cooking it. So it cooks in its own juices, and that's why you probably notice it has like this almost like soft, buttery, like mouthfeel.
Yeah.
And so.
It's very good. Very good.
Yep. It's my passion, man. It's cooking.
It's definitely not mine. I think my passion more so than cooking would be eating. So,
But that's a good thing, though. You always have to have like that dynamic. Like, I don't like to cook that, or I don't like to eat that much. Well, I like to eat, but I would rather watch somebody eat my cooking than eat my own cooking.
Well, brother, you got a guinea pig. So you are good.
Wes.
There's no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, I love testing all that stuff out. But speaking of passions, one of the things we're going to talk about today is, and this is for everybody. You guys can comment if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this on one of our lives. The question is, what'd you want to be when you were a kid? When you grew up? When you got out of high school, did that change? What did it change into? And are you doing something now that you're passionate about? Or are you just earning a paycheck?
Right.
So you guys can comment on our lives. If you're watching this on YouTube, Gorilla Gang 3421 on YouTube. We need to get our subscribers up. We cheat a little bit with the live, but if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's not going to cost you any money to subscribe. Got great content on there, but so
just go in there, subscribe, and click on every video. You don't even have to watch it; just click on it.
Yeah,
And
just
let it
click
play.
like on them. Yeah. Yeah. We get, like we said, we get 100 subscribers. We'll do a giveaway for one of our shirts, and probably do something crazy like food related.
Please get the subscriber.
We are because we are. Well, next week we're going to do Hot Ones Part 2, but with a Cameron twist on it. We're going to do a Russian roulette Hot Ones chicken wing, where we roll dice, and then you have to take the wing, one of the wings off the plate that already has hot sauce on it. Steve, shut the fuck up, man. I'm extremely passionate about being retired.
Yeah.
I hate you, man. This dude, man, every morning this guy is picture, beard all perfect, chilling, white Hennessy in his cup, 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Steve, he smokes too. Do you still have that Raider smoker? He had a custom made pit barrel smoker that was had the Oakland Raiders logo on it. Yeah.
Nice. It should.
So maybe if you get you a Giants when you actually start to cook.
Yeah, I might, man. I would definitely show it off all the time.
So yeah, what about you? When you were, do you remember?
I do. I mean, when I was little, I wanted to be a football player. You know, I was extremely into sports. Football was
Big Mac said, "Go Giants." He's from New York.
Oh, nice. You know, that was my thing. Always when I was, you know, better at football than any other sport coming up. So that's what I wanted to be. As I got older, especially coming out of high school, I wanted to be an accountant because I was very good at my accounting classes, and I was like, you know what, this is something that I could do. So when I went into college,
Did we have accounting in Glasgow?
at Glasgow, yes, Miss Kent. Miss Kent was my
Yeah, Miss Kent. I do remember Miss Kent. I never had it. I'm
By the
horrible at
way, I don't know if Miss Kent is somewhere out there watching, but Miss Kent, I used to have the biggest crush on you. Never told. That's why I was quiet in my accountant 1 class. Accountant 2, my buddy came in there and I got in more trouble. I threw books at people and all kinds of stuff.
You just brought up another. We got another topic after this. Man.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So when I went to college, I actually ended up taking marketing and management. Okay. Unfortunately, didn't finish up. And I would say if I had to do it again, it wouldn't be marketing and management. I'd probably learn how to code, do computer code. And that
Right.
wouldn't be a passion thing. That would be I'm always going to be valuable type thing.
Right. And lucrative too.
Right. So what I do now, I actually am a CDL driver, Class A CDL driver.
I know what you mean.
Trailer. I wouldn't say I'm passionate about it. I like my job, especially the fact that I'm not really bothered by people. You know what I mean? Like I can just go and do.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
This dude, I don't know if you guys have seen a video where I talked about him before, but number one, he'll call me while he's on the road, and his road rage is fucking hilarious. Like, if I recorded it, we would have 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
You know,
Angry black man driving. That would be what I call the channel.
But you know what's funny though is I didn't have road rage until I started driving CDL. The dumbest things I've ever seen on the road has been since I've been a truck driver.
But it's not just that's not even what's funny. Like he sends me these 40, 50 second like rant clips of him just being like a goofball, like just saying like I don't even know what he says. It's like really fast and it's like a half poem, half rap type of thing, but it's always something that's like crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yep.
But I swear if I recorded them or released them, matter of fact, they're all recorded because they're on my messenger.
Oh boy.
If I recorded them and put them out, I swear we would have 1 million subscribers between his angry road rage rants and those, man. You know, I'll be at work, sitting over at my desk. I'm like, oh man, and I'll play it and just hear. I'll be like, this motherfucker is so bored driving around.
Yeah,
but it's funny.
and that's
It's
you know,
funny.
it's a mix of boredom and being tired at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I get tired, man, you gotta understand. I don't, let me knock on wood. I don't fall asleep driving when I'm tired. That has happened to me once in my life, and it's never happened again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't make a habit of trying to be tired or what have you, but I think I might have told you Tuesdays are early days, so we're up a little earlier because we run to DC and we're trying to beat the traffic in the morning. Okay, so there'll be days where I'm tired, I'm driving back, man, and that's that's kind of my
Do you know that?
Red Bull drink.
You know
in a
that?
sense.
You might know this. Do you know that truckers, like back in the day, they used to like burn themselves to keep them when they started falling asleep?
I did not know.
Like they would smoke, and then they would just like
burn themselves.
burn themselves just when they to wake themselves
But
up.
that has to
It's
be a
in,
temporary thing. It can't be once it wears off.
If you ever watch Hoffa, so Hoffa with Jack Nicholson about the Teamsters and driving, their driving and stuff, they talk about it in that. So yeah, that's crazy.
Jack Nicholson, that's my guy.
Yeah.
That's one of the greats in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
A Few Good Men. That last scene, my goodness, man. I don't even watch the whole movie. I've watched the whole movie one time. I will only watch the last 20 minutes
Why?
of that movie because that scene is so great.
I think the whole movie is good. I think Tom Cruise does a great job of being this sarcastic, like smart aleck all the way through. His banter back and forth with Kiefer Sutherland. When they're working in the room and he has to have the bat.
Yeah.
I
don't mind.
He has
guys. You give us
he
a
has
rundown.
a interaction with Jack Nicholson like the first
So
time he
when they're sitting at the table outside, yes. Yeah.
So that's good.
It's
Almost
great.
everything about that movie.
It is great, but what I'm saying is
No, I get
that
you.
last scene is so
I get you,
special
dude.
to me.
I watch Full Metal Jacket, but I only watch the first 40 minutes while they're in boot camp.
See,
because all I care about is
when
Private Pile,
yeah.
Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. That's the only part that really
You
stands
know
out. to
that
me.
sergeant was really a military
Yes, he
guy.
was really a drill sergeant. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Trust me, one of my best friends on this earth went to the Marines when he graduated in '92. Stayed in for 8, but every fucking day, this dude made me watch that. And we only watched the first 40 minutes.
Nice.
Every day. Trust me. I watched that movie.
One of my favorite
Every day.
scenes is when Matthew Bodine is trying to keep a straight face. He's trying to keep a straight face.
Is this you or is this me? Who the fuck said that? Who's the little slimy trick-or-toe cocksucker just said that?
That's a great
Yo.
movie. Full Metal Jacket's a great movie.
Hilarious.
But yeah, that last scene. If you haven't seen,
No,
A
the
Few Good
urine
Men-
sea? Yeah.
If you haven't seen A Few Good Men, I mean, just for that, to me, the last, like, it is, like he said, it's a good movie throughout. But that last scene when Tom Cruise, did you order the Code Red?
Did you or did you not order the Code Red?
And then Jack goes off, man. But I'm not going to give you Jack's part.
And the
You
dude
gotta
said,
see it.
the judge was like, you don't have to answer that, Colonel. You don't have to answer that. He said, I'll answer it.
Yeah. That's exactly. And the faces he's making, man, it's like, yo, did anybody win an Oscar for that? Do you know?
I do not know.
Hey, anybody watching?
Yeah, Wes, can you look up and see if anybody won an Oscar for that movie? I'm not a craft beer dude. This is a damn Miller Lite.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
a
just
craft
trying to-
beer person. Oh,
I was out walking before this. I did like a 3-mile walk. I'm just trying to cool the fuck off.
craft beer, I can't.
This Miller Lite, trust me. I'm not retired big bone like you, man.
Yeah, we were talking about Miss Kent, and you said you had something else. When I mentioned Glasgow, Miss Kent.
So I'll say what I wanted to be.
Okay.
And then the new topic will pop up. We'll see. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a vice principal. I always wanted to be a vice principal. And then I found out you had to be a teacher first for like 5 years before you were vice principal. And I was like, nah, never mind. Forget that. Everybody in my family was a teacher. I never had any desire to be a teacher or sit in a classroom or anything like that. So that was my childhood dream, was to be a vice principal. Now, when I got to college or close to getting out of college, I started watching this show, Sharkmen, and I desperately wanted to be on the research boat, the O-Search, doing research on. I guess they do research on a lot of oceanic fish, mammals, whatever. But they do focus on great white sharks and tiger sharks, and everybody that knows me knows my passion is sharks. I love sharks. I love studying sharks and learning about them.
So is Jaws one of your favorite movies?
Jaws is not one of my favorite movies.
Jaws has one of my favorite scenes in it, and of course it's the most famous.
Sharkman is one of my favorite shows.
Okay.
There's two versions of it. One was actually called Sharkman. I forget what the other one is called. I think one of them's on Amazon Prime.
But Sharknado's definitely not one of your favorite movies. Okay. Yeah.
I don't like any of the shark movies. I think when you know the shark's fake, and it's not really.
Yeah.
Sharks don't really behave that way. Number one, like, yes, I know it's loosely based on something that happened in like the 1920s or something in New Jersey or Cape Cod or something like that, but it's not accurate enough for me to like it. The Meg, I've watched the Meg, not nowhere near.
I saw the Meg, and I do not remember the movie at all. I remember Deep Blue Sea, but I can't.
There's Deep Blue Sea. There's another movie about a girl.
Soul Surfer. Where she gets her arm bitten off?
Nah, she's like stranded on like a
47 meters down.
Nah, she's stranded on like a rock. And
well, what's going on, bro?
It's the dude that plays Ryan Reynolds' wife is in it, Blake Lively, I think. But she's like stranded on a rock, and the shark is just circling, and she can't get back to shore. People come out and they try to come out and rescue her. The shark tears them up, and yeah, I can't remember the name of it. I mean, it's not bad, but most shark movies aren't. Okay, so Steve said A Few Good Men got nominated for a bunch of Oscars, but they didn't win any.
Oh, wow. Hey, Will, real quick, I think you missed us talking about the new Public Enemy song. It's called State of the Union. DJ Premier did the beat. Did you hear it? What did you think? I'm sorry.
No, that's good. So yeah, not a fan of shark movies, but Sharkmen is a great show if you ever watch Sharkmen. And one of the reasons I wanted to do it, and I actually said this to Kellen in my initial Amazon interview, when I first got interviewed for Amazon. Kellen asked me, he said, what would you be doing if you weren't working for Amazon right now? Or if we, what would you rather be doing than working for Amazon? And that was my answer. And I think that's why I got the job, because it kind of impressed him that I sat there and got like super passionate about like the research on the shark. Like, and I told him this, I remember telling him this exact thing. I've never seen anybody or a group of people that got excited the way these guys get excited. Not when they catch the shark, not when they release the shark, but the entire time. From the moment they see a fin in the water, these dudes start cheering like they literally won the Super Bowl. Like, it's that, like...
It means that much
to them, that they see the shark. And then the whole process, they're dead ass serious because you can kill the shark and all that. Because what they do is, they hand catch them on the boat. They have a rope, big ass hook. They hand catch this great white sharks. They attach buoys so the shark is up. So, because fish will go down. Oh yeah, that's a good one too, Steve. So, they attach these buoys to make sure the shark is up, and then the boat has it's a cradle, so it goes out and then down. So the cradle is like this. So they hand pull this shark, and the one dude jumps into the cradle and literally guides this 14, 15, 17, 18 foot great white shark into this cradle that's in the water, and then they lift the shark out of the water, and then they just get to work. Somebody's got to remove the hook. Somebody's got to put a hose that feeds water into the gills.
Okay.
Obviously, keep it alive.
Yeah.
One person's job is throw the towel over the shark's eyes so it doesn't go crazy. One person is to get a tail rope on him, so hold the tail in place, and then the scientists come in. They get DNA samples, sperm samples. They attach 2 separate
And the
tags.
shark is awake the whole time?
Yeah, they attach 2 separate tags. They drill a 6-year tag into the dorsal fin, which is the scary one that comes out of the water.
Okay.
And then they attach a 6-month tag to them on the side that will fall off and just bob at the top of the water. And then obviously you can just
They go
use
back
GPS
to
and find it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, everybody has a job, and then it's like somebody's job is to keep time. Boom, they try to get the shark. They gotta get everything retaken out. The tube, boom, go back in the water, and the dude that jumped in the water
Gotcha,
grabs the
back
shark, starts moving it around. So this is a 17, 18-foot
You
great
gotta
white
love
shark,
your job. You have to love your
and
job.
they guide it and get underwater, push the tail, and then these dudes cheered like they won the goddamn Super Bowl when the shark starts swimming away. I've never seen people so happy about doing their job. And I was just like, man, I would love
Question.
to do that.
Have they ever accidentally killed a shark?
There was one death,
Okay.
and they got shut down for a little while.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. One shark went off the lift, even though it was in the water, and just sank straight down. And those dudes were devastated. They were broken heart. Like,
Right.
they were more devastated than anything. So they had to figure out, like, was the shark already sick when they you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it could have been near death or whatever. If the shark is sick and you pull it out of water for that long, yeah, you increase the odds. But ultimately, the research outweighs the risk. And they've learned so much about how sharks, their feeding patterns because of the trackers, where they go to spawn, where they go to feed, and all that stuff. So it's just interesting to me. I love it.
It sounds interesting. You know, just information. Period to me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Is
And if you're somebody that goes to, I don't go to the beach, but if you're somebody that does go to the beach, it's kind of important information to know that, hey, sharks at this time of year generally go up the coast to give birth. And then a couple months later, they're coming right back down because they want to go down into Guadalupe, Mexico in warmer water. But sharks are like anything else. They need fuel. So they eat while they go. So if your ass is in the water while they're in the water, so it's good to know these feeding patterns. And if you go to osearch.com, I believe, there is a tracker. It shows all the sharks that they've
tracked.
They've tagged, so you can see where all these sharks are at any given time.
Where are they operating out of mostly?
They go all over. They've
Okay.
been to the Farallon Islands, Guadalupe, Mexico a lot. Just around that Gulf. The Farallon Islands, I think, are off the coast of California.
Okay.
In between Alaska. I don't think they've been to the South Africa ones that they show on during Shark Week, where the sharks are jumping out of the water and all that stuff.